And it's not, one you're going to read in a business book, is it? You couldn't find available premises because the most lucrative business on the estate was selling dope. You can't make it up, can you, really? Today I'm going to go and see a service company who actually signed up for marketing support. They signed up for 6 months of help, and we aren't going to do any marketing today because what often happens with customers is we'll hear of a new opportunity, often a short window of opportunity, and if we think it will help them, we tell them. And so I rang them up about 3 weeks ago and said, look, you're thinking of trying to find new premises and you've struggled all the way through to find rental premises. I know of a grant fund who could perhaps give you £30,000 towards that purchase. Are you interested? Obviously they said yes, and that's what I'll be doing today. No marketing, or maybe a bit. We'll be filling out an application form to apply for this funding where the deadline is only 3 weeks away because obviously it's a massive opportunity and they want to go for it. But I'll update you later. That may not happen. I think that's what we'll be doing, but I'll update you later. Just left the meeting with the service company and did what I said. There were 2 parts to this meeting. The first part was the grant application, the opportunistic element, and we filled it in together online. It's quite basic. The first thing you do in a grant application is you fill out what's called an expression of interest, which is like a mini application where you put your accounts in and so on. But you literally highlight the case of why anybody would even want to give you money, and questions like, what impact would you have on the local area? That's nearly always about jobs, right? If it's a rural area, there aren't many jobs, you've got a good chance. Questions like, what will you spend the money on? Well, in this case, that's very easy, it's property. And so on. So you build a case in a very short form. At that point, you get invited to do the full application, which can take 60, 80 hours, actually, to do the business plan. So we did that, and I said, I suppose, it's always interesting, isn't it, meeting people? I said, what about this premises? Why couldn't you buy another one? And they said, well, all the properties owned by one property company. There was one unit that was available and we've been trying to get it for a long time, and it moves property agent every 3 months or so. But we've just found out that we couldn't speak to anyone about that because it was a, what did they call it? A weed factory. It was a cannabis factory. It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, it's not, one you're going to read in a business book, is it? You couldn't find available premises because the most lucrative business on the estate was selling dope. You can't make it up, can you, really? But anyway, that was true. So there really was no premises available. They were either taken, and there weren't that many in the area anyway, or run by drug dealers, or long-term ownership by a property developer. There was one private unit owned by a private individual who died. So this unit has become available because the owner passed away in December. And on the form I put, owner has died, creating new opportunity. Which sounds awful, doesn't it? But that's what the facts are. That unit would not have become available unless this individual had passed away, quite an elderly chap. And that's why it's a short-term window of opportunity. These properties do not become available unless, in this example, the owner passes away or gets arrested. It's kind of a sad situation, isn't it? But my job is to talk business and to do so with empathy and heart. I do think that's a sad situation. But in terms of a business conversation and about opportunities to grow your own business and turn it into benefits, employment for other people, then, why it became available is almost irrelevant. Not in life terms, but certainly in business terms. It is available to buy. I put that in the application. Whatever you put in your expression of interest, you have to be able to back up. It's a pitch, right? So you have to be able to back it up. And to put any other reason why the property became available would not sound convincing. The truth is, someone passed away, a rare property's become available. It's not for rent because the person passed away. You know, that is a probate scenario, you know. It's not for rent. That's why, you know, I said earlier that you have to have a compelling case to get grant funding for a property purchase. That is why. Our pitch is rental properties are not available right now. We've been looking for a year, there aren't any. These properties in this location where they have to be based, that's where the existing workforce are, a rural area, these properties do not come up for sale more than, well, in this scenario, once every 3 years when someone died. And the only other property that looked attractive and looked privately owned was run by a drug dealer. So, you know, that's a real life explanation of why you have a strategic need to invest in a unit, to create local jobs, 5 new jobs in a workforce that basically has 200 jobs for a 5-mile radius. That's a big deal, I think, for a local area. So yeah, real life pitch. No, I was going to use a different word there, but you know, no nonsense. Truth. You have to back it up. So we did that, and I will show that to a few people I know to say, you know, what do you think, and validate it, and go back to the customer and say, I'm going to submit this application. If you get invited to full application, it's a good sign. If you don't, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Then we moved on to marketing, and I might have spoken about this before, you know, I think this is the 44th video. So if I have, then it doesn't matter, it's worth talking about again. Which is what I call the power of 8, and you'll have probably noticed this in some of the recent videos. We're about to publish our book, and one of the chapters includes some information which is called the power of 8. And that is something I heard from a colleague about 15 years ago who used to work in the banking sector and says this is how they did strategic networking, not tactical networking, okay? If you go to a breakfast meeting, we never do that, but if you go to a breakfast meeting, then that's tactical networking. You're there for a very specific reason. You're trying to sell something. Yes, you may want a croissant, and you may want to talk to somebody and share how you feel and get some emotional support, but fundamentally, tactical networking, any kind of groups like that, is about selling. Strategic networking, which is what I'm going to call the power of 8, is about relationships. And why it's 8, they said that they told all their employees to go and find 8 strategic people, not businesses, individuals who would refer them work. So that's a one-to-many scenario, not a one-to-one sale. Why this is relevant is I'm working with this company and they're about to target Birmingham, and I love regional marketing, I love localised marketing because it's not easy, but it's very structured and tangible and systematic because you haven't got much area to communicate with. And so I said, look, I love what you do, and she's absolutely fantastic at marketing, really, that's her background. And their client list is ridiculous, you know, like UNICEF, people like that. I said, and she told me what she was doing. She was doing lots of direct marketing, she was doing qualified direct marketing, you know, looking up companies, checking their websites, doing research, all the things we would say do if you're doing direct marketing. I said, I like what you're doing. You're doing sort of broadcast noise, you know, like advertising, Facebook ads, things like that. You're doing direct marketing unqualified. I quite like that, you know, send out a load of messages to see what happens. It's a numbers game. You're doing qualified direct marketing, which means I have researched you, I've put a bit of effort in, and I've sent you a message, and I know about you. You know, you're slightly more important to me, right? This is segmentation, right? You know, order of groups of people get more important, they get more contact. And, you know, I like that too. You've done some of that, I like that. But you've done nothing in the sky. I said, the power of 8 is sky. That means I find people and I get to know them. I don't have coffee with them. I don't meet them for a croissant. And I don't try and sell them anything. They are strategically important people. They are the 8 people who could change my business over time, over a year or 2 years. They're not contacts. And why it's 8 is what this person told me was, if I've got 9 people who I consider to be important contacts I should stay in contact with, people, then that's too many. It's not physically within the emotional, physical time, what's the word, capabilities of an individual to have more than 8 relationships at any one time. Not good ones, not ones you are nurturing, and that's the word, right? I said to her today, you need to nurture these people. You need to go up and see them, even though it's 300 miles away. Drive up there, meet them, press some palms, look them in the eyes. That is how you make relationships, not contacts. It's not direct marketing, is it? And so I said, you're not in the sky. You haven't told me who your 8 people are, and they don't know who you are. I said, you're really successful in London. Let's do it now. Tell me who the 8 are in London, because it's easy to do when you're talking about something you're already doing. Go, you know, Fred, Bill, Jane, Shirley, whatever, right? So, well, tell me what they are, you know, and it was supplier, retailer, that sort of thing. I said, right, now let's go and find 8 in Birmingham, and we're going to send them a message to say, we are coming to meet you. Not, this is what we do, would you like to buy it? We think you're so important, I'll get in the car, I'll drive 300 miles, and I will come and see you. Not a choice. And that's what happened today.